Hi Virgos, how we doing today? Sorry about the late monthly reads. Had a lot going on. Oh, by the way, welcome to Jess on Tarot. I'm Jess. All right. I'm just gonna be wishy-washy today, but that's okay. All right. I hope you guys aren't. I think it's the weather, but I've had graduations going on and starting a new job, doing all kinds of things, anniversary trip plans, so I'm just trying to get my schedule back in balance. All right, so we're going to do your June monthly. Take what resonates, leave the rest. All right, and hopefully by the end of June, I'll have all of my everything on a schedule. All right. We're going to start this out with a question. What does Virgos need to hear? What question are they asking? You had two. So, what course takes me home? The map. And it's also the compass plant. We will read. What is mine for the doing? Prairie mound ant. It's about work. All right. So, the compass plant. I've been reading out of this book because I really like what it says, and it's kind of neat. But it takes me a minute to find everything, so bear with me. All right, compass plant. Compass plant is aptly named. His golden yellow flowers are always reaching for the sun, towering over his companions in the prairie. For those who watch this know that I don't read so well out loud, but we're going to keep going. The fingers of his lobbed leaves eventually position themselves upright, pointing north and south in the effort to minimize sun exposure. The flat surfaces of the leaves lie east and west, offering travelers a useful reference point. Are you at a crossroads or decision point of some kind? Each of us maps our own destiny. Sometimes we need markers on the journey when we feel lost or unsure which way to go. These signposts help us to remember who we are and why we're here today. Compass plants suggest an exercise for reorientating yourself. Whether you're still learning to use your internal compass or the edges are worn smooth, now is a good time to check in. With a pen and paper in hand, head outside if you can for stillness and caressing breezes. Free write or use these prompts. What are your values? What are your core beliefs? What brings you comfort and joy? If your present path feels aligned with your personal truths, keep trusting your navigation settings. If you find any discourse, explore why. Do you feel pulled to chart a new course? If you're facing multiple choice questions, which direction brings you back to yourself? That's home. So, maybe getting in tune with what really you're valuing at the moment, like what are your core values and are you aligned with those? Ooh, I gotta find the prairie mount. You're the only one that's got two so far, so we're gonna be doing a little digging. Ooh, did I find it? Nope, I did not. Well, I think it's definitely about putting some kind of work in. Maybe you're putting some work into yourself, what you're aligning to at the moment. I can't find it. Okay. Just bear with me. I'm getting there. All right. Prairie mound ants are movers. They understand the power of forward momentum and accomplish improbable feats. These go-getters create enormous dirt mounds using a labyrinth of passageways. and chambers for specific uses. Ant queens, males and female workers, all have different jobs and responsibilities. At the same time, they work as a collective for the colony's growth and survival. Through their industry, they mix and turn the soil, benefiting the whole ecosystem. What's your relationship to the concept of work? Does it feel heavy, burdensome, forced, or even boring? If so, try a neutral definition, expanding effort for a purpose. Is there a task with your name on it today? What would you like to bring into your life? To do, tap into the ant's industrious energy and choose. This could be physical or mental. Some work is best accomplished when your body is still. Going within to learn, connect, and grow is one of our most important jobs. Ant says, just start. Undertake what's in front of you, however small, and go from there. While challenges are a normal and healthy part of life, work does not have to be hard. To be meaningful or effective, does it shift your perspective to step into both free will and personal responsibility? You may want to consider a couple of additional messages when Prairie Mound Ant shows up. Are boundaries playing a role in your present situation? Remember, no one can do your work for you, nor you theirs. Get clear about your role and focus there. Is there a need for teamwork? If so, step into the hive mind and explore how your personal role helps the collective achieve what would be impossible solo. I can't talk. So I feel like you're taking a break and trying to figure out like what your core values are in order to maybe bring something else to the table. Putting that work in. All right, let's see what's going on. Definitely mapping out and putting some work towards something. I feel like it's more about mapping out your own values, which direction you really want to go, and how you want that work to benefit. We will be working on the lighting issue. I feel like the overhead light's too bright. All right, what do we got for Virgo? One issue at a time, all right? All right, what do we have for Virgo? All right, we have Page of Wands. And the Sun. I like that. Ooh, Queen of Swords. The Seven of Wands. The bottom we have the Eight of Cups. I think this is about you moving away from something that doesn't quite make you emotionally happy. Or just in general moving towards what does make you happy. But you have some kind of decision when it comes to what makes you happy. Like the Lovers with the Six of Swords is kind of like a choice in where you're moving to, where you're journeying to. It's like deciding, maybe deciding to choose some kind of peaceful situation. Like, you have journey cards here. So it's definitely some kind of movement, but you're deciding on where you want to go type of energy. We're going to get more into that. The Lovers and that Six of Swords. because like it's in my mind, but I don't know how to put it out there quite right. You might just be moving away from a love situation, if that is love for you, and just walking into loving yourself a little bit more. And that might be where your compass is taking you at this time. But it does take some work. We have the Page of Wands with the Sun, which is telling me is like, I feel like this is you getting a little more inspired to feel happier, or maybe looking at a situation differently with that Sun card. I don't know why it feels like that, but it kind of feels like a hangman type response. It's like the spark is there, but how do I turn it into like the ray of sunshine type of energy? And then we have the Queen of Swords with the 7 Wands. I feel like this is about setting boundaries and maybe walking away from something, or at least being a little guarded when it comes to a situation or an issue that you haven't quite resolved yet. Then we move into the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles. I feel like this is telling me that, like, maybe you've had some kind of mental uncertainty or some mental conflict going on about like financial issues, or even about being confident in a situation. And it's kind of like whether or not you want to be kind of independent, or I feel like it's you pulling away from whatever mental conflict you've had. We have the Chariot in reverse, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like that's about not really knowing, or not really putting any action. It's kind of like a stuck energy about where you should put your energy, especially when it comes to some kind of home situation, maybe a financial situation. You're not really allowing yourself to, I feel like, receive anything at this moment. It's kind of like a standstill. You know, because you're definitely stuck in your head with that 9 of Swords showing up. You know, maybe you've been dealing with some heartbreak and some toxicity going on in your life. But definitely, I feel like you're trying to focus on some kind of passion, some kind of drive to get you to the Sun card. This might be like stepping outside the box type energy. Okay? And it's kind of like that sitting down, being in stillness. Like, the Page of Wands is, the pages are about messages. So it's like listening to that message of, how do I become happy? How do I push my happiness? And you're making some kind of judgment call to work on that. With the Queen of Swords and the 7 of Wands, I feel like you're finding some kind of inner strength to set some kind of boundary and kind of push forward. It might be a little guarded and kind of weebly wobbly, because she's walking across these 3 pillars that don't look very steady. But it's also kind of, I feel like balancing out some kind of desire with the emotions of it, because she is crossing water. But definitely learning how to set some kind of boundaries. The 5 of Swords with the 9 of Pentacles, I feel like that's the kind of the mental complexity about how I can be financially stable. How can I be confident in this situation? You know, how am I putting this work through? You know, maybe we're not looking at all the opportunities, or we're stuck in some kind of like emotional, I don't want to say imbalance, but we're kind of going through the emotions of the situation. And then we have, for kind of the last week, it's kind of like the inaction about how to give. Maybe you feel like nothing's growing, you're not really receiving anything, and it has something to do with some kind of family situation. with that Ten of Pentacles here, you know, your solid foundations. With that Nine of Pentacles, I feel like it's maybe slower progress than what you're anticipating. I forgot to grab you a spirit card. I'm going to have to do that. So we have the Knight of Swords coming out. It just popped out, so we're going to go with it. I think this is telling you, like, it's messages. So be clear with what you tell yourself and what direction you want to go in, and watch how that starts to transform your life. You may not see it coming, but take a pause. Take a moment, take a breath, and then nurture yourself. Be creative with that Empress. I kind of like that message for you. It's really good, you know. It's definitely going to be some hard work with that Ten of Wands, but that's okay. Nothing in life is ever easy. All right. What's the advice? You have the Two of Swords with the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles coming out for everybody. I feel like you're blind on which direction you can plant this foundation, when really you need to do is just kind of like embrace the emotions of it with that Knight of Wands and that Four of Cups. It's like lighting a fire under your ass. And I feel like that shows up with some kind of balancing situation. But your advice is whatever like painful situation or whatever this heartbreak is for you, because everybody's different, you know, it's telling you to keep working through it with the Ten of Wands and the Nine of Wands. It's like, this is hard. I know it's hard. It's like a little bit of pain and suffering, and you're kind of wading through the emotions of it with all this water and this rain. But, you know, you definitely feel like maybe it's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort. But the more you keep going, the more it allows you to kind of decide. All you got to do is kind of take that blindfold off to decide where you want to go, how you want to build. All right. I hope that makes sense. I hope that resonates, but that's what I have for you guys. I'm going to pull you guys a spirit message because I totally forgot to do that, and that's totally okay. This was a little bit longer than I was hoping it would be, but that's all right. All right, what do we have for Virgos at this time? All right, we have Roadrunner. Keep your sense of humor and don't take things seriously. Okay, it's that Sun card. Getting out and having a little bit of fun, maybe. Make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of judgment or disapproval from others. Blue Heron. So definitely maybe taking a stand. I feel like that's Queen of Pentacles. And do what's right for you in spite of others. Allow your sense of humor to kind of help with that Five of Swords energy and that Chariot in reverse. But it's definitely about creating a spark or an idea, a concept. That page is that next step to that ace, you know? And that, I feel like, it shines a light on something. You know, allowing you to put some boundaries, put some work, be very precise on how you speak, maybe to yourself, and put you, I feel like that Seven of Wands energy, put you in alignment for the movement of things. But definitely keep an eye on that mental clarity. What are you telling yourself? That conflicting position about your own confidence, where you want to grow things. And I feel like you're kind of at a standstill with that Chariot. There's kind of really no willpower, and It's very inaction. It's kind of like just stuck energy. And that's about where you want to give, especially when it comes to setting a solid foundation for yourself. But follow your map, go outside, journal a little bit, put that work in, and I feel like it all starts to turn around. All right, that's what I have for you, Virgos. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.